Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today I want to talk about the question whether you should do cold calls for your social media marketing agency or not. And I'm gonna give you the answer straight up for myself, and that is no. I don't condone cold calls, and here's also exactly why. And the number one reason is you're calling outbound, and if you don't know what outbound is, you're pretty much like reaching out to your business. And inbound is like when a business is coming to you. So that's kind of like the difference between outbound and inbound. And when you're doing that, when you're calling outbound, if it's a cold call, not like a warm call, if it's a cold call, it means that there's yet any trust to be established between you and the gatekeeper and you and the business owner, right? Because all you really are for the other person on the line is, you're a stranger on the phone, because you're for the first time there introducing yourself, you're there for the first time saying who you are, what you do. And usually, people say that, say their name and they say they run an agency. But then again, if you say you run an agency and the gatekeeper hears that, they usually know most of the time that you're just trying to sell them something, and they're just not gonna let you go over to the person of authority. Which brings you to the second one, because 8 out of 10 times, you will never get the person of authority on the phone, aka the business owner, and you just can't get past the freaking gatekeeper, if you say who you are, because they always ask like, okay, but what is the call for? What can I tell the business owner? And then most people say they run an agency or have an offer to make, and that's just a horrible way to even try and get to the business owner, because you're asking for his time. And once again, you're coming from a place of obscurity. It's people don't know who you are, you don't have any trust with them, and they really have no reason to like pass you on to the business owner if you say you have an agency or you have something to offer, right? It just sounds like kind of a telemarketer. And then the third thing is, you're uncertain whether they're even qualified, right? Because most of the time when people do cold calls, they just get this massive directory and call anyone up that's like on the list, with the business name and the number, and they just call them up for the sake of just calling them up and hopefully to set a meeting and hopefully to close a client. And that's kind of an unsustainable way to generate leads, because number one, you don't know whether they can invest. Number two, they may not even be over that hurdle of believing in the power of social media marketing yet, right? And basically what you're doing here as well, you're investing your time, energy, and focus into an unsustainable, short-term client acquisition model that relies on uncertainty, at the end of the day. And you don't want to build your business on uncertainty, right? You want to have like something solid, knowing you are following like some sort of proven process, right? And that way you also know it's not a matter of maybe, but it's a matter of when. And basically, fourth thing is, most people are also using Skype credit, and usually, end of the day, it's costing you money to build your marketing agency, and using money to invest into your agency is awesome, but in order to do cold calls, I find, it's not really worth it, especially if you don't have any clients yet, because you're spending your time, energy, focus, and money into, once again, a non-scalable and non-reliable client acquisition method. Okay, and most of the newbies starting out in the space are not too good with cold calls, and it's not worth it for them like to number one, get past the gatekeeper, number two, build trust with the gatekeeper and business owner, and number three, get them over like the value hurdle of social media marketing, because most people don't even know what it is, and if you have to go ahead and explain it to them, it's going to be really, really hard for you to close, right? Because if you aren't able to explain it properly and demonstrate it, then once again, it's going to be very hard for you to close, instead of already having someone in front of you, that knows the power of social media marketing, knows the importance of it, knows like the ROI it can bring them, instead of like a person that doesn't. And number four, you're never sure if your prospect is qualified or unqualified to invest, simply because you're just calling some random person up, and most of the time when you're just like calling this massive directory, that means you haven't done your homework. So you're not sure whether they're qualified or unqualified to invest, or even need your service. So yeah, guys, those are like the main reasons why I do not condone cold calls. What I do suggest is actually go ahead, master a platform, where you can build like this little loyal audience, which is your niche most of the time, right? So go on LinkedIn, do your market research, so let's say, for example, you have realtors as your niche, okay? You want to do your market research on realtors, and what they want most of the time is cheap buyer leads. So show them, for example, a case study via your platform, have it like completely tailored to business only. So for example, LinkedIn, pick your niche, build a loyal audience, post valuable content where you can like bring value resonance to the person, so the realtors, and then, you know, just build like this little loyal audience where you over time get people reach out to you, right? Because if you position yourself as a high authority figure, as an expert, people will come to you and ask you for help, right? So that's why I also, you know, just recommend to pick a niche. Some kind of like actionable steps here you can take to, you know, actually build a scalable and reliable way to get clients. So but yeah, I'll be probably making a separate video on that. I hope this video helped you on like why you should do cold calls. It's very like time consuming, energy consuming, and you know, it's just kind of an uncertain, unsustainable way to build your business. So yeah guys, let me know what you think about cold calls, what your experience is, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave me in the comments or send me a PM, and I would love to help you out. All right guys, keep crushing it.